Well, there was a program I was involved with where they were using a special type of Teslatron unit where we would take a watch in with us in this small hexagon room and spend, supposedly 55 minutes in there. It actually detoxes you and teletransports toxins out of your body. Sometimes people lose up to 15 pounds in these trips that they go in there.
In one sitting?
In one sitting, in 55 minutes. And I always asked, well, where does that go? Because I still have the same hydration when they did the blood test, and I'm not dehydrated, but yet all the horrible negative ionic bacteria, viruses, and metals in my body were taken out. So people that are really toxic that go in there, really a lot of this stuff.
They come back healthy.
Right, they come back very healthy. It's used to treat cancers for the elites of the world. Even our presidents.
What's the machine look like, Emery?
It's a hexagon room, and inside the hexagon room is a glass wall. The hexagon room is only about 8 feet in diameter, so you know. So it can only fit a small massage table that's in there. And 3 feet beyond the massage table is a 3-inch glass or plexiglass wall, and behind that is this giant Teslatron unit. And it amps up this amazing electromagnetic frequency where it rips time and space apart.
Replicators, there would be no starvation. You can use a replicator and replicate some silver or gold, or replicate yourself a $100 bill if it makes you feel comfortable, and put it in your pocket. There would be absolutely no need for any type of financial give or take.
I would think that the typical old school politician mentality would be that if you gave everybody on earth this kind of stuff, that they would all just want to drink beer and nobody would want to do anything, and they'd just be hanging around, and it would kill them. It would ruin their lives.
Well, there's going to be a transitional period where people are going to go, probably a little bit nuts for a while with the technology.
I mean, when people win the lottery, right?
Right.
It's not good for them.
Well, right. Well, if everybody wins the lottery at once, everybody has a replicator. Everybody's going to be pushing the button every day, and trying, all these different meals.
Computer, 1 slice of New York cheesecake. This is an old Earth delicacy.
How do I know you're not trying to poison me?
Please.
Basically, the design is a conventional generator.
Searle tapped into zero-point energy.
The only person that I know of who has ever succeeded in making a Searle effect generator is John Searle. The electron flow is accelerated to an extremely high rate, and it creates a vacuum around the device. And in that vacuum, you develop numbing cold. And numbing cold, as we know today, is a function of superconductivity. It also is a function of gravitational force.
For over 60 years, John Searle has tried to give to the world a new kind of energy system, one that would free mankind from the burdens of oil and fossil fuels. John Searle is known all over the world as the inventor of the Searle effect generator, a magnetic device consisting of 1 or more rings, also called plates, and a number of cylindrical rollers that, when in motion, generate electricity.
The generator is a magnetic device that is totally magnetic. It is its own prime mover. It will self-start and continue to run, and as far as we know, we could say never stop.
The looking glass shows probabilities, or has shown probabilities. The cube would react with the people present. So there was an alteration, if you will, over what you were seeing from it. It would actually spin out as a yellow disc out of the top of it, where the word Yellow Book originally came from. Yeah. Actually, I used that to our advantage at the T9, because that, in fact, was present at the T9, and I projected certain information which caused a little upset during the meeting, but I was also allowed to show them probable outcomes. So, in fact, the Yellow Book, the cube, was used for that purpose. Shockingly, they happened to see themselves standing on the bones of their own families and things like that in the vision. They were handing this cube around from country to country to the elitists in the countries to look into their own futures so that they could pick the best paths for themselves. I'm happy to pass along the information. I'm honored to pass along the information that I understand that the Yellow Book is no longer accessible. I will say this to everybody, whomever took it, it's in safe hands and it won't be used to harm humanity.
Are we able to know how many man-made stargates there were on the planet?
No. I'm not going to comment as to the total. I will say that there was over 50.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. In different countries of the world?
Yes.
Okay, and these are man-made?
Yes.
Okay, so, and natural stargates?
Well, see, it's not a Stargate. It's a device which accesses.
Okay,
which
right.
accesses a portal, a wormhole,
Does it
or
access a natural, in other words, the man-made device
Yes.
accesses a natural stargate?
It draws off from a
natural
natural ERB, an Einstein-Rosen bridge.
Okay.
It accesses it and somehow works, from what I understand, not in parallel, but almost like piggybacks on the energy of the natural Stargate. Yeah.
Okay. So, in other words, if there were 50 man-made devices accessing, they would be accessing a corresponding 50 natural energy vortexes.
That I don't know. There's a possibility, in fact, that when the looking glass was operated, they were usually worked in tandem. It required a second looking glass to be turned on at the same time to get acoustics through. So unless a second one was turned on, which was operated at one of the places where Will Uhouse had been, he saw the second node location as opposed to the first node being over at the Papoose facility. Two pieces of equipment, two looking glasses, were required to be turned on at the same time to be able to hear acoustics or sound, if you will, from whatever the people were watching, but to go to piggyback in tandem with the visual response to the equipment. That it required two to be turned on to hear anything. And then both sides could hear the same thing. So I suppose both of the looking glasses being tuned to the same thing was accessing the same tunnel, if you will, to the information.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. Okay, so the looking glass has an ability to show one the future, but a Stargate or, or equipment that accesses a Stargate or wormhole is for time travel, right? We're talking about two different things.
Yes.
Are they using the same technology?
Essentially, yes. The original device was the Stargate device. That was then increased in power, if you will, with the use of these field posts. And how it pumped up the power, how it stabilized it, I don't know. You'd need to speak with a physicist about that.
Okay, and
However,
it increased it enough to where it became a looking glass?
well,
or had
no.
the abilities of a looking glass?
No. It would be pumped up in power to stabilize the doorway, if you will, to step through into another location,
Right.
which, in essence, because distance and time are relative, the same thing. Step two into another time. The looking glass device was a back-engineered Stargate.
Okay.
So it was actually back-engineered from the original cylinder seal data, which allowed us to produce the Stargate access devices, if you will, what we call the Stargates. It's a back-engineered device, the looking glass is. So the looking glass is a secondary device, and it was coming into its fore in the 60s and 70s. And Will saw one of the first generations of it. From what I understand, a very large piece of equipment. They always get smaller no matter what. I mean, look at what's happened with the computers.
Wasn't the original looking glass a back-engineered from alien technology?
Yes.
Okay. But it also, there was information around the cylinder seals that they used as also, and that those cylinder seals also came from an off-world race. Is that
well, no, the cylinder seals didn't. The information on them did.
Them came
lot of people are doing nothing more than getting huge quantities of mass and see if they can get a gravity wave to cause things to move. Well, that isn't what we're talking about at all. So I wondered if gravity could be related to its cousin magnetism. And so I found that when I take two magnets together, I have some neodymiums around here that I'm actually afraid of.
They're so strong.
They can danger you. But anyhow, you take a magnet, you go to put them together and they go clunk, right? But you take one of them, move it around, and all of a sudden it doesn't want to go together.
The repulsive.
So I got, I ordered one at $5,000 a piece, with a 1/4-inch hole through between both of them, and I put a brass bolt and I tightened them down, forcing them together. And then I put them together in a thing that looks kind of like a rock. Okay, and then I got another one that didn't have magnets in it. And Galileo, in all his endeavors, he went up to the Leaning Tower of Pisa
And dropped the...
and he dropped a big rock and a small rock. And his buddy down at the bottom kept telling him that the large rock and the small rock arrived at the same time by the side of escalators and elevators.
Oh, wow.
And I got 9 guys that were not educated and didn't have pre-opinions on anything. And I dropped my 2 rocks. And I said, what I would like you to do is, I told them what I would like you to do is I would like you to take whichever one arrives first, get it in your hand, and when I come down the elevator, hand it to me. Now, they looked identical, except for...
And nobody knew what was inside?
No, absolutely not. All the 9 times that I tested it, it's as though the one with the opposing magnet field extending out 3 feet on each side. I actually measured how
big the field is.
How big the field was, and on each side of one rock, I had a total of 6 feet. At any rate, the other rock arrived first.
Which one arrived first?
The one that had no magnetic field in it.
So you were able to cancel out gravity to a certain degree. You were able to cancel,
precisely,
reduce the mass gravity effect.
Precisely.
By opposing fields.
Isn't that nice? You bet. And got 9 signatures and I always skip. You
did that at Lockheed. What year was this?
Oh, at least 8 years ago.
This is the actual document of Boyd's where he proved that by altering the field in a falling body, the magnetic field, it reduced its mass gravity equivalent and canceled out the effects of gravity to a certain percentage. And he did a building 500 drop test conducted from a height of 59 feet. The location is in White Solomon, Texas, and the time was 12:20 p.m. and this was in 1995, December 12th. Nobody knows this.
I know it.
So gravity, mass gravity is not, you can alter it.
Well, gravity within itself has to have, gravity goes through anything that is solid and anything like iron or anything else. But it has to have a magnetic component, which may be canceling out within itself. But as soon as it got around my rock, it all of a sudden recognized